Only other thing I'll mention is we do have the June 2nd special meeting date is confirmed for the Cemetery Street application.
March.
So what
It can't
did
be
I
June.
say? Did I say June? I don't know.
You said June.
Sorry about that.
was wishful
March.
thinking.
Yeah, there you go. Thursday, March 2nd at 6 o'clock. We're going to cancel your normal March 1st meeting. So you'll just have a special meeting on the 2nd. There won't be any other business on that agenda, just that application. We've had requests to set it up as a hybrid meeting. So we'll have either Brian or myself will be in the council chambers that night, kind of acting as the gatekeeper, I guess, for folks that want to speak at the podium there, lectern there. They can come up and comment at that point if they don't want to do it from home. So
Okay, you'll have a computer there, so
yeah, there'll be. I guess the way it's set up is there is an iPad there, and that iPad we'll turn it on as speakers go up to speak.
okay.
What about commission members?
If you want to attend there, you can attend there. Otherwise, you can stay home. You're not required to go.
And
But it's our meeting, but the Common Council is going to be involved as well?
No. We're just using the Common Council chambers.
Oh, so
We always use the Common Council chambers for our public meetings.
oh, well, always has never happened, Lou, since this.
You're right. You're quite right, Tammy.
It's been a while, I know.
Wow. If we
are
go,
there-
we have to get dressed up if we go.
And I guess we'll be on a big screen. Do they have a smart screen in that room that the people that are there will be able to see the deliberations of us on Zoom? Or
I don't think so.
They
Because
also put on their-
we've talked in the past, Mike, about broadcasting our meetings, and there's no ability to do that.
I'll ask the question because technology's changed since the last time we were there. I'll email IT tomorrow. I don't know how that part works.
Okay.
They do have the monitors, like if you're sitting in the crowd, the seated section of the council chambers, there are monitors. So I would have guessed that they could do that, but I'll double check tomorrow.
And I'd like to actually see that room too, like have a camera set up, not just the individual speakers, but see the whole room. Just because people showed up, they want to be seen, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if that's set up that way or not. As far as I know, I was told there's an iPad at the podium and there's an iPad for who's ever seated at the.
But the fact is,
dais.
even if it's a Zoom meeting, Brian can show their faces so that we can see them in real time.
Yeah, when they get up to speak, they'll be on camera. Correct.
But just to be clear, if a commission member wants to go to City Hall, they can go for this meeting, is that
Yeah, I
correct?
just need to know ahead of time because they have to set up the iPads.
I think that's going to be a hell of a mess. With
I
some
know.
of us, some
I
of
wanna
us
go
here,
just for
some
old
of us
time's sake.
there.
And
I was-
everybody, it's been done. I talked to Mike Wren from Wilton and they've
But
done
we-
it at a couple of meetings. They said it's been very messy.
Yeah,
city
and
council does it.
we've never done it. And this is an important project where the people about which people feel very passionate. And it can be incredibly messy. And technology can interfere with us understanding them or they understanding us. I'd much prefer if we kept it to a Zoom meeting. I don't see a particular value, although people may disagree, to doing it, unless we all agree to do it in person. I don't see a particular value to it being a hybrid meeting when it's going to be difficult on a difficult topic. I think we're just asking for trouble, and nobody's going to walk away satisfied.
I just wanted to say that I watched last night's Common Council meeting, which
Mhm.
was done hybrid. And I watched the sort of recording of that. And I believe there were most of the members of the Common Council, I think, were there in person, but some were on Zoom. It was very easy to see the people, at the mic to speak. It was easy to see and hear the individual council members on, I guess, their iPads. I don't know if they had like headphones, so they didn't pick up each other's audio or whatever, but it worked pretty well. I assume that somebody could point the iPad to show the crowd if anybody wanted to get it. The one thing that wasn't clear to me was whether the people participating, sitting in the audience, were able to see a screen of the full Zoom.
The
I can get
problem
an answer.
is, the council's been doing that for a while. We've never done it. And I think it's up to us to decide if this is the meeting for which we want to premiere hybrid meetings.
Well,
Where's the request coming from?
there were a couple different residents that put that in an email that they wanted to have the hybrid meeting. Brian and I looked at this with Jeff Spar, who's kind of like the city's Freedom of Information Act expert. Technically, since it's a special meeting, I don't think you have to do it, but I would say while it is a special meeting, it's kind of like, it's not like an emergency special meeting where you only have 24 hours notice. So I'd recommend treating it just like a regular meeting, at which case I don't think it's at the commission's discretion whether they can do the hybrid meeting. I think if the way the advisory language from the state has come out, if requested to do the hybrid meeting, you have to allow the hybrid meeting.
Why didn't you start with that?
So,
Okay,
Why don't-
so I have two questions. So the first one is, did you determine the date of the training, Steve? I don't have it in my calendar when we're supposed to do this training through the legal department.
Oh, the Connecticut Bar one?
Mhm.
That's on Saturday, and if somebody's got a calendar, can
March
just
11th.
verify March 11th.
March 11th. Thank you very much.
We
I'll
just
put that on
did
my
the
calendar.
registration today, so hopefully you'll get confirmation shortly on.
And that's
on that.
all day. Thank you. And so my second question was just in terms of hearings, like when we have a public hearing on a particular property, I have no problem showing up in person because I think it's important that if the public is going to take the time and effort to respond, support, or oppose a project, I think the least we could do is be there to hear them.
I agree.
I do too.
Well, it's irrelevant. Apparently the regulation requires us to do it.
So you have the
Requires
choice.
us to do a hybrid, but not,
Hybrid, it doesn't
we're
require. us
talking
to be
about
there,
going
but-
in person.
Yeah.
Right.
So you can attend virtually or you can attend in person. It's your call, however you want to.
And that meeting is at 7 PM, right?
No, 6 p.m.
6. Thank
Are
you.
they gonna have the heat on?
Just bring
Not if
it.
the weather's like today.
And I just want to make everyone aware that COVID is still spreading. It's still an issue. It didn't go away. The pandemic's not over. I know someone who is in their 80s, a neighbor who is very ill right now, who just got it, doesn't know where they got it from. So just be aware of that this is not just the end of it. I mean, if you want to show up in a big room with a bunch of strangers, I think that's great, but the ventilation in that room is not going to handle, it's not designed to standards that replace the air every 10 minutes, like, is required to make it safe, from CDC,
Oh,
whatever.
Really?
That,
They didn't upgrade their ventilation?
well, no, I mean, the CDC has definite, well, anyway, let's not get into it. I'm just going to say that it's not exactly the safest environment to show up in a room full of strangers who are coughing and sneezing, and you're sitting there. I'm just telling you that. And I worry about my own health for reasons I won't get into, but I am not going to show up in a meeting. I was just on a cruise and I actually wore my mask the whole time and I avoided all the crowded areas. I ate outside on the deck and I didn't get sick, but I mean, you know, people were wearing their masks and they had, you know, I mean, it was still an issue, and still a few people on the ship got sick. So anyway, I'm just telling you that it's not over. That's all.
No, not by a long shot, but the most we can do is be careful and look out for
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah, and just be aware of that. That's all.
Yeah, for
Well,
what
where
it's
do we
worth,
go
I'm all
from
in
here?
favor of hybrid meetings, but I can't commit to attending in person.
Well, you can, you know, and then if you're a caregiver or you have anybody elderly in your house, you know, and you bring something home, I mean, that's on you. It's not something to take lightly. People in the hospitals still have people, and there are people dying at a rate that's notable. So despite what you hear on Fox News, it's serious.
So
Anyway.
again, where do we go from here?
Yeah.
Again, I think it's it's up to the individual commissioner if you want to show up in person. If you want to go that route, just let us know so we can have the proper setup available. But you don't have to. You can stay home and you're perfectly, you know, appropriate.
Yeah, I just would say if somebody starts coughing their head off in that room, God bless you all for being there. I mean, you know, because they're probably not going to have a mask on and nobody else is going to have a mask on, and then you've got an event. So anyway, that's all. I'll stop.
Okay, any other comments from commissioners?
I mean,
Nope. Motion to adjourn? Look-
Motion to adjourn.